You can speak Russian better instantly with these 10 verbs. First verb is встать, which means to get up. And about myself I can say я только что встал с пола. Я только что встал с пола means I just got up from the floor. Встал in this sentence means I got up, I stood up. Another meaning of встать is to wake up. Я встал в 7 утра. I woke up at 7 in the morning. But a third meaning of встать is when talking about a man's private parts getting up. I'm not gonna give you an example for that, but the next verb is зайти. And зайти means to walk in. Я зашел в магазин. I walked in the store or I came in the store. And зашел is a past tense form of зайти. Another example with зайти is I thought I lost my phone somewhere outside and I was really mad at myself. Но когда я зашел домой, я увидел свой телефон. But when I came home, I saw my phone. Зашел домой means I came home, I stepped inside my home. I just stepped in, I just came in. And a slang meaning of зайти is when you really like something. I can say мне зашла эта песня. I really like this song. The next verb is заниматься. Заниматься literally means to engage in something, but we use it more frequently as just to do something. A very common phrase is я занимаюсь спортом. I do sports or I engage in sports. And you can talk about your occupation or your job with this verb as well and say я занимаюсь программированием. I do programming or I engage in programming. Notice this се at the end of this verb занимаюсь. Се is a sign that the verb is reflexive. For you guys to use заниматься properly, make sure to look up reflexive verbs in Russian to learn that grammatical topic. Next verb has less meanings, but it's just as useful, and the verb is обдумать. You're making a very tough decision in your life, and you don't want to miss important details of anything. So you say, мне нужно все обдумать. I need to think everything through. I need to think everything over. So обдумать means to think everything over, to rethink about everything. Then you got tired of thinking too hard, so you go outside for a breath of fresh air. You go out, you look up, and ты увидел красивое небо. You saw a beautiful sky. So увидеть means to see or to notice. But also, remember when I lost my wallet? Но когда я зашел домой, я увидел свой телефон. Увидел meant I saw or I noticed my wallet in that sentence. Let's talk about the next verb вернуться, which means to return. To return as a person, not to return some objects, but you yourself came back or returned. I went to run some errands, but I forgot my backpack. So, я вернулся, чтобы забрать рюкзак. Я вернулся here would mean I came back or I returned home. And then, чтобы забрать рюкзак means for me to pick up my backpack. But вернуться also means to return or to come back in a more of a long-term meaning as well. And the king of all comebacks is Michael Jordan. He went and played baseball, но потом он вернулся в баскетбол. But then he returned to basketball. So вернулся, he came back. After a long break, he came back to basketball. Another great verb that all of you guys need to know is вспомнить. And вспомнить means to remember something only after you already forgot it. And the difficulty with this verb is the pronunciation of it. The 3 consonants in the beginning is the hardest thing to pronounce here. But the very first letter V is pronounced as F, like an F, is вспомнить, вспомнить. Practice this a few times to get this right. And we use it just like this. You know the feeling that you get whenever you want to say something to your significant other that is so important. So you come into the other room, but as you're walking, you already forgot what you wanted to say. But then you remember what you wanted to say, so you come back and say, я вспомнил, что хотел сказать. I remember what I wanted to say. So initially, you forgot something, but then you remember it. And that's when we use вспомнить. But we can also forget about objects, not just about our thoughts. So I can say, I was just sitting there with nothing to do, being bored, and all of a sudden, я вспомнил, что у меня есть отличная книга. I remembered that I have a great book. I forgot about that book initially, but then I remembered it. That's when we use вспомнить. Next verb that is very straight to the point and very useful is принять. And принять means to accept or to receive. There's many phrases with принять, but let's start with the literal meaning of it. I ordered some package online, but then я принял доставку посылки. I received or I accepted the delivery of the package. So принял means I accepted that package, I received it. Another meaning of принять is when we can receive our friends or somebody as guests. I can say мои родители часто принимают гостей. My parents often accept or receive guests. So принимают гостей means they receive guests. Another example with this meaning is их хорошо приняли в отеле. They were received well in a hotel, or they were accepted well in a hotel, meaning that the staff treated them nicely. Next verb is more literal and more action-oriented, and the verb is бросить. Бросить means to throw something. Literally, it can also be used just like this. Я бросил кусок бумаги в мусорку. Я бросил means I threw. Кусок бумаги is a piece of paper. В мусорку into the trash can. So I threw a piece of paper in the trash can. So бросил in this sentence means I threw. But бросить is used a whole lot to say to break up with someone. Taking a look at this clip, we can say он бросил свою девушку. He broke up with his girlfriend. Keeping in mind that бросил means to throw, he threw his girlfriend, he left her behind. That's kind of what the meaning of this verb is in the break up kind of a meaning. And then a verb попасть, also a very direct meaning of попасть, and it means to hit something in a certain spot. I can say мяч попал мне в лоб. The ball hit me on the forehead. So it's a certain spot that the ball has hit me right in the forehead. And a second meaning of попасть is these guys can say куда мы попали? How did we get here? Where did we end up? How did we get here? Where are we? Куда мы попали literally means where did we get? Or how did we get here? What is this place? So that's the 10 verbs that will improve your Russian instantly whenever you start to use them. And for you to speak Russian better, join our 8-week intensive course, Be Fluent Camp, and start speaking Russian better and get to the next level of your Russian. If you're a beginner, get to intermediate. If you're intermediate, get to advanced. If you're advanced, get to fluency much faster. Check us out with this button right here.